On Wednesday, the House Judiciary Committee questioned several constitutional law experts on whether President Trump's actions are impeachable offenses. Democrats called 3 of them, while Republicans called 1.
On the basis of the testimony and the evidence before the House, President Trump has committed impeachable high crimes and misdemeanors by corruptly abusing the office of the presidency.
The problem is not that abuse of power can never be an impeachable offense. You just have to prove it, and you haven't. I believe this impeachment not only fails to satisfy the standard of past impeachments, but would create a dangerous precedent for future impeachments.
Turley's criticism that this is moving too fast. How are Democrats countering that, both privately and publicly, as they talk amongst themselves?
The timing is one of the things that I think politically Democrats are the most nervous about, and that they don't want to be seen like they are rushing towards impeachment. I think what gives them the confidence is they do really feel like the facts are there. And I think when you talk about the polling and the impression in the White House, Democrats are also looking at polling and raising money and doing all these things. And they still see a country that a majority of which not only says the president should be impeached, but removed from office. They see independents breaking their way on a lot of these tough questions. And even the Trump campaign this week that tweeted out some polling about Kendra Horn, a Democrat in Oklahoma, meant to kind of dunk on her, but also showed in this ruby red district, 45% of people support impeachment and removing him from office. If you extrapolate that to more, competitive swing districts and states, I'm not sure the politics of this do play well for the president in the long term, and especially for the Republicans down the ballot who have given themselves no daylight with this president on this question.
Well, so as the Democrats calculate, they're moving forward. They're taking the steps. The speakers requested articles of impeachment to be drafted. But what do we know about what those articles will be? What's in them? Will they include obstruction of justice when it comes to the Mueller investigation? Yeah. Or will it just be about Ukraine?
There's definitely an appetite among some Democrats that they do want something from the Mueller report. Obstruction of justice would probably be the easiest. Of course, there were those 10 points that Robert Mueller laid out as potential obstruction of justice articles. But on the other hand, there are some more conservative Democrats that are really nervous. They don't think that the Mueller report landed well. They want this to be as clear and narrow as possible. And that's the one area where all Democrats are united when it comes to the Ukrainian issue. And so they haven't worked that out yet. I wouldn't be surprised to see an obstruction article, but it's not clear yet.
Well, then you get the cynical view, too, that it's good to have an article you can vote against, right? So that you could say, oh, well, I gave this serious thought and not everything.
Well, so, Carl, what does your reporting tell you? When this actually comes to the floor, what will the Speaker bring to the floor?
I obviously, abuse of power, obstruction of justice, probably obstruction of Congress, and we'll see how broad they make it. I do think we'll get a lot of hints from this hearing on Monday, where the attorneys for the various committees are going to testify. And I think through the questioning and their testimony, we'll see what they're up to.
Let's talk about that, Josh. You've been reporting on the White House all week. We got some news just before the show went to air on Friday that the White House will not participate in the House Judiciary Committee hearings that are upcoming. What do you know about the White House's position?
The fundamental calculation is that there's nothing in it for them, that the House is going to impeach him, but the House has laid out these facts that they're not going to be able to do it the way they want to do it. They think in the Senate, with the GOP senators, they can participate in a way that's more advantageous to them. And basically, they've written off this process. The White House counsel's office today said, go ahead, impeach us, and do it fast. And I think what you're going to see is the White House continuing just to hammer away at the House Democrats as he secretly, behind the scenes, prepare for the Senate trial, prepare for strategy, prepare for the lawyers, prepare to even have some administration officials testify in the Senate, potentially. But they're going to just write off this whole House process and call it illegitimate and not participate at all. And part of that, Bob, is because the president knows he's going to lose in the House. And the president does not want to participate in something where the outcome is going to be a loser. It's easier for her to say, we just didn't play. We didn't lose the game. We didn't show up to the field. You played without us, right? That's a more effective message a president sees than doing it the other way.
Yeah, no, I think that's absolutely right. We know this is a president who doesn't like to go forward and lose, and we know, and the president also knows that he has the advantage in the Senate.
But does he? I'm just a little skeptical that the White House thinks, I mean, I know it's Republicans control the Senate, but the idea that he's going to see the same level of fealty and loyalty from Senate Republicans that he's enjoyed in the House is a risky play.
Well, who votes against him in the
Not
Senate?
that he votes against them, but this idea that the White House is going to get to call whoever they want to the floor of the Senate, or they're going to be able to write the rules of the game.
That's not what I mean. I think
Yeah.
I think that there would have to be a dramatic shift in the axis in Washington for them to get the
conviction, for sure.
supermajority
Yeah.
that they would need for this. As long as he comes out at the end winning, and he can use that as a campaign message, I think that he will see that ultimately as a win, and that's precisely why they're using the strategy that Josh laid out.
I do think that the non-participation, though, does speed up the Democrats. I think if the White House had said we want to do some things, the Democrats might have to slow down. Now they look like they're on a course to do this before Christmas.